I'll be right there, everyone. Just making sure I got the Pro Tools session open for us. All right, we are live. How's it going, everybody? Can you all see me and hear me? I hope so. Let's see. Loud and clear. All right. How's it going, everyone? How's it going? Holy Sins, good to see you. Lightgeist, codename Gray Fox, thank you all very much for joining today. Earl the Cat, my man, let's get it. Yes. Slamski, good to see you, brother. Gus from Breaking Bad, everything is fine. Nice, man. Yeah, I was worried I was going to be late today. I was changing the oil on my car and it took me longer than I thought it was going to, but we're all set. I'll probably just chill for a minute, just kind of let people show up. I have a Pro Tools session for us to go over today. Some vocals that I've been recording this past week on a new song. This one's pretty chill. It's like very laid back and kind of more about the vibe. So I thought it'd be like a nice, easy thing to start with. But we'll get into that in a bit, and you guys can hear the vocals and see the editing process. And yeah, if you have any questions during it about recording or music or anything like that, just let me know. But we'll hang out for a minute here, let some people show up. What kind of car? I've got an older BMW. It's an E90, a 328. Had it forever. She's hasn't let me down yet. But the oil changes on those things are ridiculous, so I'd rather just do it myself. Good to see some familiar faces in here. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Appreciate you. All right, so I was trying to make sure that I had Pro Tools, had the session open, everything ready for us. 44, thank you for the follow, I appreciate it. So let's see. Hey, Vera Tom, good to see you, my friend. Thanks for coming back. All right, if I switch over to Pro Tools, can you all see my screen now? Let me know if y'all can see this. Holy Sins, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Yes, all good. Nice, nice, nice. All right, so, cool. Here we are. Nice, nice. All right, so this is the Pro Tools session of the track that I've been working on these past couple days. I have all the vocals in here. They're just tucked away into some different playlists, so this one's just totally empty. So I think what we can do is, I like breakfast. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for being here. I think what I'll probably do is, I'll just play you some of the tracks so y'all can hear it, you know, get a taste of the instrumental, kind of see what the vibe is. And, you know, maybe you can start imagining, you know, some vocals on your own, and then I'll kind of show you what I put down and what I'm thinking we can kind of go for. So this is just like my basic Pro Tools template that I've been using for now. So this is how I like to lay things out while I'm tracking. Things will get switched up once I finish a song, and then we go to the mixing process. I'll change things up a bit, but basically the way I like to have it is I've got a bunch of my tracks up here that are where I'll end up putting, you know, my sort of final vocals. So let me reorder these. So I've got 4 main vocal tracks here, and the way I like to do that is like vocal main 1 is the lead vocal, and then vocal 2 is a double of that vocal. So with doubling, you basically sing the same part twice. You just have the second track tucked underneath at a lower volume, and it kind of gives you a nice little chorus effect on your voice and fattens the vocal up a little bit without it sounding like there's 2 voices, even though there is. The other one's just a little quieter. Yeah, just call you breakfast. All right, cool. I'll definitely do that. I'm curious as well, since you do like breakfast, what are you eating for breakfast? What's your go-to? Yeah, doubling works well for screams. Absolutely. Screams can really benefit from doubling because the natural distortion in your voice will blend between the two takes, and they'll kind of fill in each other's gaps and make your voice sound fuller, for sure. I personally like a very subtle double, so I'll kind of tuck mine down. But some people like them like dead even, where you can really hear the effect. My wife is big on these single serve hash browns, like from McD's, but with a grocery store. 2 of those, fried egg on each. Perfect carb to egg, or perfect ratio of carb to egg. Nice, my friend. Very nice. So these 4 main tracks are where we end up putting the lead vocals. Like I said, one will be a double. I just have 2 sets so that I can have overlaps, and I've got space to put if there's like 2 lines going on at the same time, and then I can send them to different effects and stuff like that. And then below that, I've got 4 layers of just background vocals. The background vocals, I don't treat them that much differently than the lead vocal. It's the same vocal chain, same effects. They're just tucked away, and they'll be panned to the left and the right side to make them a little bit more subtle. So that'll be these 4 vocals down here. And then I have like an extra background vocal down here that usually I'll save this for like if I want some type of crazy effect, maybe some type of distortion, some type of chorus, some crazy delay throw, or like a rotary speaker, anything like that. It's just nice to have an extra track that you can add a bunch of effects to without having to worry about messing up your lead vocal. So that's what that one's down there for. Nick, what did you have for breakfast? I had similar. I eat pretty much the same thing for breakfast every day. I'll have 2 eggs and 2 egg whites with veggies, typically spinach or kale, arugula. So I'll do like a scramble, like with that, and then I have toast with cottage cheese or avocado. It's kind of like my typical one. I end up eating the same thing every day though, because I don't want to waste time thinking about it, and I don't mind eating the same thing all the time. Trader Joe's has really good hash browns in the freezer section. See, it's been a while since I've been to Trader Joe's, and I know that they have a lot of good stuff. There's just not a convenient one near me. But every time I go to I have a friend that shops there, and they're always raving about the cool stuff that you can find. So maybe I'm missing out. Who knows? Did we get ours from Costco? Yeah, my brother shops it at Costco, and he was talking about how it's totally worth it. Like for buying things in bulk, the amount that you save on getting just a large quantity at once, the membership totally makes it worth it. I've actually never set foot in a Costco. I don't think I've ever been there, but apparently it's pretty rad. I know a guy who eats oatmeal twice a day only, and he's a soccer player for college. Maybe we're doing something wrong. That's pretty crazy. I feel like you would be missing out on a lot if you're only eating carbs in your oatmeal. But maybe he's, I would imagine he's doing some other shit. Yeah, dude, they have really good options for meal preps and shit, veggies. See, that's probably true. I should look into those. Like I try to cook most of my meals, but it's nice to have something in the freezer that, like, if you're in a super hurt, like a crazy rush that day, you can just, chuck it in a skillet or on the microwave, and you'll have something decent. So I should probably have some backups for that. Codename Gray Fox. So the hardware, no, I'm just going straight into the preamp, and everything's digital in the box. I really would like to have some nice vocal hardware. I just haven't taken the time to invest in it. Not because I don't think that it would be worth it. It's just that I'm getting okay, good enough results with what I have now. So, but maybe in the future, I would really like to get. I was looking at the 500 series of outboard gear. So like instead of like a full rack, they make like the little lunchbox with the mini rack units. And there's some really cool preamps, distressors, compressors, stuff like that. And some of my friends from audio engineering school that I went to have gotten into those, and I've heard really good things. So to be honest, I'm kind of due for an upgrade, but it is what it is. Costco's worth it, especially with a 100 big family. You get free membership cash back. Never paid for membership after that. Yeah, man, the Costco thing, I'll have to check into it. It's just me by myself, but even still, I feel like I might benefit from being able to get such large quantities of like the staple things, right? Like just getting, you know, bulk amounts of rice, meat, veggies, these type of things. Maybe it'd be worth it for that. No, definitely not like a Men's Health magazine. Yeah, School of Rock in the background, for sure. Glad you noticed. It's an absolute classic. Yeah, it's kind of funny that you can see my TV back there, but just didn't bother to turn it off. If there's a Sam's Club next to you, I can send you a picture of the card and just do a self-checkout. They won't see the pic. See, you probably get away with that, but I feel like it's probably worth it. If I was gonna go there, you know, I'd wanna do it official. You know, I would get the membership, but maybe, who knows? Anything for MTH to show us? No, not right now. We are working on new stuff, but nothing that's ready to show out yet. But when that happens, I'll definitely let you know. What differences are there between recording distortion versus clean vocals? Okay, so I'm assuming you mean like singing versus screaming. The main thing, I personally don't do anything that much different. I know there are some people who like to have very distinct vocal chains from cleans to screams. Personally, I just like to think of vocals as vocals, and I try not to treat them differently. But generally, screams benefit more from compression. Like, they're very, very dynamic. And I think that having a little bit of extra compression on screams helps. A little bit of extra distortion, extra saturation, those type of things. So I was actually talking to a friend where something that I like to do while I'm recording screams is add a little bit of extra distortion to my vocal chain. Not necessarily that it has to stay that way in the final mix. You know, you don't have to have a distorted, like an effect on your vocal in the final song, but just having it in your headphones while you're performing helps to, it helps give your voice a little bit extra like power and oomph, and it helps it feel a little bit more like larger than life than it really is. And for me, it stops me from judging myself too hard, and it helps me enjoy the screaming process a little bit more. So that's something that I do different between the two. When I'm tracking screams specifically, I'll throw on a little extra distortion just for myself, just to make it a little bit more fun during the recording process. Let's see, get the option 2 with Costco. We spend money. % goes to membership. Bought 2 HDVs. Basically pay for this up. Man, I think they have like a lot of different benefits because my brother and his wife got like a crazy discount on a trip to Hawaii through Costco. So I think they have all sorts of benefits for their members and stuff besides just the food. Can you show how you do your vocal warm-ups? That is a good question. So I actually am looking for a better warm-up routine than what I have right now. At the moment, I will basically just start singing other people's songs. You know, I'll start singing some songs of some bands that I like, stuff that's kind of well within my range, kind of easy, you know, start out with a basic song, and then here, I'll make myself bigger since I'm talking so much. I'll start singing something that I know, you know what I mean, something that's not too difficult, and then I'll just kind of gradually increase the intensity of singing along to, you know, some of my favorite songs. But I think that there are better ways to do it. I know that there are better ways to do it where, you know, you warm up to scales, you've got specific exercises to stretch your throat and your tongue and all this sort of stuff. And I used to do some of that while I was touring a lot, and I've just gotten lazy, to be honest. So I'm personally looking to improve my vocal warm-up routine, and I think once I get a good one, I'll probably make a YouTube video about it, because I know that's something that a lot of people, you know, everybody does something different. But I know Melissa Cross has some good videos about it, and I know I think it's Will Ramos, the guy from Lorna Shore. He's been doing videos with these like vocal coaches, and they have some warm-ups and stuff that are on YouTube. And I think those are more focused towards screaming. So maybe check those out if you're looking for something right away that you want to try for yourself. Yeah, talking about Costco and making music, brother. It's all good, baby. Fun warm-up rather than technical. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. I'm more like trying to get myself in a creative headspace, and just kind of get like my body warm, and kind of get in the zone. But the technical warm-ups are important too, and I think I need to have a balance of both. So I'll be doing some research on my own, and if I find something good, I'll definitely share it with you guys. Thanks a lot. You were welcome. Yeah, the vocal warm-ups were fun on tour. We have they're like these specific vocal warm-ups from Melissa Cross that we used to do on tour, which is just like a piano and a scale, and you just sing a bunch of funny noises going up and down the scale. And it's like the least metal badass thing to hear. Like, you picture a band about to go on stage, you're playing these like death metal music, you think they're gonna be getting all hyped up and shit, and it's just like singing these piano notes. It's hilarious. Yeah, exactly. Yep, lots of funny sounds. Okay, so let's go back to Pro Tools real quick here. So I've got my main tracks up here, right? This is where we kind of put vocals once we like them. And then these 4 tracks down here are the tracks that I actually use. Oh wait, can you see these? Hang on, I want to make sure you can actually see what I'm doing. 1 second. Let's see if I do this. Hope that's not like... Oh, come on, guy. Let's do this one. There we go. All right, if I go like this, you can see. Okay, and then these 4 tracks down here are the ones that I actually like to record in. So if I open some of these up, you can see all of the vocal takes that I've done so far in this song. So, I've done some in this first chorus here, done some in the outro. This track has some. We've got some in the middle here, some at the outro, all this different stuff, right? So if you're not familiar with Pro Tools, I made a video about this on some of the recording stuff, but Pro Tools has a system called playlists where you can have multiple tracks or multiple takes of a track living inside a main track. So I don't have to change any settings. I don't have to make any new tracks. I've just got my one master track with my vocal chain, and I can just go new take, new take, new take, new take. And they all just get put into these little folders underneath our main track. So that's what these all are down here. So once I do a recording session, the next step is to go back through and listen to what you did, and then start picking the best sections and putting them together into a song. So I like to do that maybe like the next day or a couple hours later, just kind of give your mind a break, and then come back and listen to it. And hopefully you got what you wanted, and you like what you recorded, and you get a good thing. But sometimes when you have fresh ears, you'll hear things that you want to change, and that's all cool. This is just the first draft. This is our first initial idea. It's all part of the discovery process. So yeah, I haven't done this live in front of people before, so I will try not to make it too tedious or like too boring. But if there is something that you want to see, just make sure you say so in the chat, and I'll try to do my best to show everything. If you have questions, if I move too fast, too slow, just let me know. So I think what I'll do is, let's turn off Spotify. Yeah, I'm pumped too, my friend. All right, so let's see. I'm just gonna play a section of the verse through the chorus, and you guys let me know. First, let's just make sure you guys can hear it, and then we'll talk about the song and talk about the vocals and everything. So let's just start at the top. Let me know if you can hear it. Just say something, say so in the chat if you can hear that, okay? I'll just let it play so we can get into the vibe of this song. Yeah, very 2000s. Nice. Cool. So yeah, as you can see, it's a very, very laid back, very, it's mostly about the vibe. So for me, that's kind of what I'm going to try to capture with the vocals. Obviously you want things to be hooky and catchy and memorable, but it's mostly about just letting the vibe sit and trying not to disturb the water too much. So actually, no. So this instrumental does not belong entirely to me. This was written by Derek Blevins, courtesy of him. That dude has been making all types of new music, and I'm so excited to see it. Helped him a little bit with the home studio process, and dude, he's mastered Pro Tools. He's getting stuff recorded. He's just on fire. So really excited for the stuff that he's gonna be doing in the future. So no, I didn't. This track does not belong to me. I can't take credit for it. I'm just gonna be lucky enough to sing on it a little bit. So I'm totally gonna snowboard to this when you release it. Nice, man. That'd be awesome. Yeah, hopefully it's just like a nice track to just be in a mood and kind of float along to. So that'd be pretty awesome. Yeah, he's super hyped about it, man. He's really learned the home studio stuff quickly. He's got the plugins down. He's got his guitar tones good. He's editing stuff. He's doing drums and bass. He's putting his own vocals down. I mean, the guy's he's learning it so fast. So very, very stoked for him. So okay. Let's crack open some of these takes and we'll see what I have. So basically this song, the structure of it is super simple. It's literally verse, chorus, verse, chorus. That's it. There's nothing to it. Maybe we'll add more in the outro. Who knows? But for now, it's just chilling. So let's just play. Let's see, where should we start? Let's just start at this first chorus here. So I have a couple vocal ideas in mind. I have like a main melody that's sitting in a low register, and then I have an octave of that melody that I have come in when the instrumental, when the full chorus comes in. So to be honest, I'm not 100% sure how I want to structure this track. We're just gonna figure it out together in real time and see what sounds good. Whose project is this? This is Derek's song. He wrote this, he did this whole instrumental, and I'm just putting vocals on it. So props go to him for the track and for the instrumental that I get to sing on. So let's just hear some of our vocals here. Let's play this same section. Okay, so that's the second half of this chorus when it comes in. Okay, so a couple things I'll say just at the start of this. The way I like to do vocals in these processes is I'll have an idea in my head, but once I get into the recording session, I'm trying lots of stuff for the first time. So a lot of this stuff is on the fly, where I'm changing lyrics, I'm changing melodies. I'm trying to get the idea in my head to come out right in the track. But we're going to hear a lot of stuff where I'll change a pattern, I'll change a lyric. And this is part of the discovery process. Once we get editing, we can go back and see, was your first idea better than your second, this, that, and the other. And also, you're hearing untuned vocals, and these are, raw takes. So don't roast me too hard. All right. But we'll find some good stuff. Hopefully it's in here. So I think instead of going on with this higher melody, let's get our lead vocal first. Our low guy. Let's see.
Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. I've been thinking, lost without you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. I was thinking, lost about you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. Break this feeling, lost around you.
Okay. So you can hear the lyrics are a mess, right? That's the first thing we need to figure out is just what are the lyrics we like? What do we want the lyrics to be? And what are the best takes? So, hopefully this process doesn't, make your brain melt too much. But in the editing process, you have to listen to a lot of stuff over and over. So I apologize for playing like the same part a million times. But we have to listen to everything to see what the best stuff is. And thank you guys for if you like the vibe. So let's go through these lower ones down here are trying to get that low vocal. That's going to be that's where the verse lives. So that's going to carry us into this part. So that's the first part that I want to get, the thing that I think is the most important. And then we can add the high layer on top of that. So the one we just heard was this green track right here. And this one wasn't bad. I'll play it again.
Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. I've been thinking, lost without you. Steal me from my brain, watch it slip through my hands. I've been thinking lies about you. Do you know my pain? Won't you sink in my sound? They were speaking lies about you.
Okay, so it's really just the lyrics. Obviously we want to find a performance that we like, but I know that I was trying all different types of lyrics in this section. So yeah, we're just going to go through. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to go through and listen to a bunch of these. We'll kind of do some back to back. If you have any questions during the process, just shout it out. Hopefully, you don't get too bored hearing the same thing over and over. But so you can kind of listen on your own, and you'll be able to tell which ones, which performances you think are better, which lyrics you prefer, or just kind of what things you notice about the differences between each take to take. And yeah, we'll start building our favorites and putting these together into a comp for our vocal here. Melody and the vibe. Thank you, brother. Do I use any plugins or hardware when I track? Yes, someone asked this earlier. I don't have any hardware, like any outboard gear on my vocal chain. It's all plugins in Pro Tools. So I can show you guys that in a bit if you want to see the vocal chain that I have on this right now. But I think I'd like to do some quick comping first and kind of get something for us to listen to that we're happy with, and then we can do some vocal chain stuff in just a second. So I think the beginning of this one is okay.
Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. I've been thinking, lost without you.
All right. So we're just going to play, we'll just do this soft section because this moment right here is the first time we hear the chorus. Everything drops out. It's just the guitar and the vocal. So you really want the vocal to be spot on because it's like really taking the spotlight in this moment. So we got to try to make sure we're really happy with this part. Gotta head out, guys. Earl the cat. Hey, man, no worries. I think what I would like to do is, I think you can put Twitch videos, like, I think they can be public after the stream. So maybe you can come back to this if you're interested. Or maybe I'll chop it up into a YouTube video. Who knows? Actually, speaking of, make sure I'm recording on my end too. Okay, cool. All right, let's listen to some more of these takes. And then also, just so you can follow along, if you look over here, if I zoom out, okay, no, you can see. Whichever track has this yellow solo button next to it, that's the one that we're listening to. So that's how I'm able to quickly switch between takes and do shootouts between which vocals we like. So just an FYI, my cursor, you can kind of see when I click on a track, but you can always just check for this solo button over here, and that'll show us which track we're listening to. So let's go to this second green one here.
Do you know my name?
Nicole, thank you for the follow. Thank you very much.
I've been thinking, lost without you.
Okay, let's go one under.
Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. I've been sinking, lost without you.
Okay, so that time I said sinking, which is, that's okay too.
Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. I've been sinking, lost without you.
Okay, let's go down to the pink ones down here.
Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. I've been thinking, lost without you.
Like the first half of that one. Let's try the red one.
Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. I've been sinking, lost without you. Save me from.
Okay. So I'm mainly listening for like pitch and control and just overall delivery, because this vocal is just sitting by itself and the guitar, we really want to have, the best performance that we can. We have a couple more at the top here. Let's check and see what these are. Usually the earlier stuff in the session, I'm kind of like finding the part more, and they're typically not the best takes, but let's see how these ones sound.
Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. I've been thinking, lost without you. Stealing from my brain, watch it slip through my.
That was not bad. It's a little breathy, but
Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. I've been thinking, lost without you.
so maybe I like the middle line, the do you know who I am? Let's try this one.
Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. I've been dreaming, lost without you.
The dreamin' is cool, but I don't like the performance on that one as much. Let's go back to our green one here.
Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. I've been thinking, lost without you.
Okay, so to me, that seems like the best take for sure, because it has the balance of being soft, but it still has a little bit of body to it. I'm not like totally whispering. You know what I mean? Like it's moody, but it feels a little bit more, has a little bit more like body to it. So the U in the green track is the best. I think so too. Yeah, let's see.
Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. I've been thinking, lost without you. Steal me from.
All right, so this guy will be our favorite. Let's see. So what we can do, or what I like to do, is let's say this is going to be our favorite take, right? And we can change this stuff later, but let's say this is our one that we like. So what I can do now is there's several different ways to take this and make it our final comp. One of the quick ways is you can do a little shortcut here in Pro Tools, which is Option Command V, and it'll bump it up to our main track up here. Or you can hold Option and click and drag, and that'll duplicate a clip. So let's say we're just going to do that. So let's say we can use this top lane up here to build our performance. So let's say we like this one is our favorite. And let's just grab, let's see what's our number 2 favorite. Let's see. Sorry.
Lost without you. I've been thinking, lost without you.
And that one's okay. Let's go lower.
I've been sinking, lost without you.
Oh, that one's not bad.
Lost without you.
Let's try this blue one.
Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. I've been sinking, lost without you.
Oh, I like that one too. More moody minus Batman. What do you think? What do you think? What's Batman? Oh, like the voice that he talks in? All right, cool. So let's say we're going to take these two, right? So we're going to fly these guys up. Let's say these will be our favorite tracks up here at the top. So let's go and let's see what we have in the second half once the drums come back.
Steal me from my brain, watch it slip through my hands. I've been thinking lies about you.
Okay, so I know for sure this part I kept changing the lyrics, so we're gonna have to find. I think the later tracks are where I got the lyrics that I like or that I want the song to be. So yeah, the Batman voice. I know, it's pretty funny. All right, cool. Let's go down to these lower ones here and see if I got the lyrics right that I wanted.
Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. They were speaking lies about you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. I was feeling walls around you.
Okay, so the only thing I didn't really like that take very much. But the only thing I did like was the lyric at the end is supposed to be they were speaking lies about you. So I do want to just keep in mind that that one is there. So let's try the green ones here.
Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. They were speaking lies about you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. They just stealing walls around you.
Nice. So that one was pretty solid. It had a couple pitchy things, but we got all the lyrics right and the performance was generally tight. Let's try this last one.
Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. They were speaking lies about you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. Break the ceiling walls around you.
Cool. Yeah, I think that one's better too. All right. So let's say normally I would go into like more detail and play stuff like a lot, but I'm trying to be mindful of, you know, hopefully trying to keep this somewhat entertaining. So I don't want to totally, you know, just numb your ears with hearing the shit like too much. But I do know. Okay, so let's say these two are going to be our comps, right? Normally, or realistically, I can tell you we're gonna sub out and switch up a couple of these lines. But let's just say we want to just build the general part first, and then as you're hearing it, different phrases will jump out at you, and you'll start catching things and be like, oh, this, you know, that line is off, this line is off, whatever it is. So let's drag this guy up. Okay, so what I just did there is I went out of our playlists and I went up into our main tracks here where we're going to say this is where our lead vocals are going to live, right? So if I minimize these again, that's what I like so much about Pro Tools and the playlist option is we can have all these takes down here and I sang this, 20, 30 times, but I don't have to look at it. I don't have to sort through it. I don't have to think about it. It's in there and it's safe, and anytime you want it, you can just go open the folders up and you can see it, but you don't have to be distracted by it. So that's why I like to do these separate tracks just for recording, because then once we get into our comping stage, you'll find you're going to do playlists of the comp, right? So I've got our favorite vocal tracks up here, but I guarantee you at some point we're going to go, oh, what if this blue section is better in the middle here? And what we can do is, we can select these tracks and we can make ourselves new playlists. So I just did a shortcut there, which is Shift, Control, Option, Command, / I know that's kind of a lot. It's a mouthful, but you can also just right click and go, where is it? I think it's in here somewhere. I just use the shortcut too much, but I know there's a way to duplicate the playlist. Freeze, command, move to, hide. Okay. This is embarrassing. I know there's a way to do it. Oh, I guess, okay, well, you would go and you would view the playlists. Never mind. Doesn't matter. You can, oh, here we go. Yeah, you would view the playlists and then, I don't know, isn't there a button? I swear there's a button for this. Okay, folks. Well, hey, you guys can, you just have to take my word for it that you can do it without the shortcut, but I just always use the shortcut because that's the way they taught me in school. So just to review, if the shortcut is for duplicating the existing playlist. The shortcut is Shift, Control, Option, Command, and then the / that's right under the delete key. So Shift, Control, Option, Command, /, and now you can see we have playlist.01 right here. So I'm so sorry that I don't remember where the button is, but I swear you can do it out. You can do it otherwise, but the shortcut's the easiest. Nick, can I listen to your friend's band from Brazil called Novo Eden? How do you pronounce it? Novo Eden? Novo Eden. Big fan. Yeah, absolutely, dude. I will. I'll write down some notes on my phone. If you guys have music that you want me to check out in general, let me know. Okay, Novo Eden. Let me know if I'm saying that correctly too. I hope that I am. Novo Eden. All right, sweet, dude. What a crazy shortcut. Yes, I know. You could, Batman. I'm also a composer, and a few days ago wrote you on Insta for a collaboration, but now I know the answer is you already have a great composer. Oh, interesting. Like, are you a composer for, for film, or for, are you composing to picture, or are you? I'm very curious to know what type of stuff you're working on. Because I'm personally really interested in learning film composition, and I've dabbled a little bit, and I think that stuff's really cool. So definitely curious to see what you're working on. But anyways, the point I was trying to make with these playlists here is it's nice to have our main tracks separated from our recording session tracks, because then as we make multiple iterations of our favorite selections, we can just switch between them and quickly A/B test our different ideas, right? So say in this playlist, we like the green one for most of it. Well, we can just switch back and forth between playlist 1 and playlist 2, right? And this makes it really, really easy to, you never lose the original version because you duplicated the playlist, and you can just quickly go back and forth and be like, no, that first version was better. We'll just leave it alone. So that's just a brief rundown of why I like to have the tracks separated like this. And all our recordings are safe, right? They're all down here. They're just hidden away in the playlists. So that's a nice feature right there. But let's see. Let's listen to these two vocals in our track. Lyrics aside, performance aside, whatever, this is just going to get us broad strokes, and then we can start adding the high vocal that goes on top of this. So let me turn these off. Let's see.
Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. I've been thinking, lost without you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. They were speaking lies about you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. There's a sin walls around you.
All right, cool. It's not perfect. I can definitely hear some performance stuff and some pitch stuff, but we have the basic structure there. So something that's cool now that we have these two pieces is we already like these tracks decently. Let's say we want to swap out a line, right? Let's say I think this this middle line right here could be better. I can just quickly take our lead and our double and flip them around. So if you see this top track right here, vocal main 3, this is our lead vocal, right? We're sitting right at unity, right at 0. And I've got my double down here at -10. So you can just hear the difference, or if we switch these tracks around, maybe this takes better. Let's see. Sweet. So I think that this take right here is a little bit stronger than this one. So this, I think, feels good in our main take. And we can just leave this one in the double for now. Later on, we can go through and if we don't like it enough, we can replace it altogether. But in the double, I think it sits fine. And by the way, Maddie, so you said you want to pick up a new PC. You definitely can. But just a thought of encouragement is I was using a Mac Pro from 2008 for many, many, many years. And I only recently got a new PC like a couple months ago. And I did that for video editing. So luckily, audio recording programs are pretty, I don't want to say that they're like lightweight, but they're nowhere near as intense as like video. There's way more data in any type of, way more data in like video and video games and stuff. So the audio stuff is pretty lightweight. It only gets taxing on your computer if you start doing a lot of like sample libraries, like if you have crazy synths or like drum machines or drum loops or like orchestra libraries, stuff like that, where it has to load that data. But if you're just looking to do stuff like this, where you're recording and running some plugins, you can probably get started with what you have. So just don't let that hold you back. But I definitely know the feeling of wanting to upgrade. So no worries there. But you can definitely do it with what you have, I bet. Thank you, man. I'm glad you think that the singing suits it. Hopefully this is feeling good for this track. So just to clarify here on the double, I'll just solo these vocals just so you can hear, right? Let's play our lead solo with no double whatsoever, and then we'll just slowly start raising the double in, and hopefully you'll be able to hear the effect that gives. You know, let's try it like this. I'll solo both of these, and I'll completely take this track away, and then I'll slowly add it in here. Right here, this track will be our double. I'll slowly bring it up, and hopefully you'll be able to hear like the chorusy, like ghosty sort of effect that it gives.
Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. I've been thinking, lost without.
So there's just one vocal, and I'll start to bring in the double.
Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. They were speaking lies about you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. Break the ceiling, walls surround you.
So if you can hear that, you're getting a chorusy flanger sort of effect, because they're not going to be perfectly pitched. They're not going to be perfectly in sync with the timing. You get these little fluctuations, this sort of up and down type thing. And this was really popular in like 60s and 70s music. And these days it's really popular as well in pop. I think like if you listen to Foo Fighters, you'll hear this effect a ton on Foo Fighter stuff. Dave Grohl loves a loud double. I think like not the last record, but like one from like 3 or 4 years ago. I just remember thinking, holy shit, dude, like the doubles, his vocals are so tight that it sounds good. But the doubles are just really, really loud. So this is all personal preference of what you want to present for your song, right? Some people, maybe you want a totally raw, like stripped down, naked performance, and you just want the one vocal, and like you want people to be able to see you sing in the song. There you are, you're right there. Or maybe you want it to sound, you know, a little bit larger than life and a little bit, you know, harder to grab onto. And so maybe the double works. So like in a song like this, where we kind of want it to be a little bit trippy, moody, you know, we've got some effects on the guitar, maybe a louder double would work for this song. My default is to go like -10 compared to our lead vocal, but just hearing it like that, maybe this is one where we can crank the double up and maybe it'll feel better. So let's just bring it up and we'll see again, see where we want to leave it. Oh, wait, hang on. Start at the top.
Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. I've been thinking, lost without you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. They were speaking lies about you.
Cool, so that feels okay. It's obviously, what matters more is how it sounds in the track. So listening to stuff soloed, I don't listen to things soloed that much. You can kind of get lost in the weeds a little bit, but there you can hear the chorus sort of double effect that we get from stacking our vocal like that. Do I usually keep them center panned? So that's a good point. So for like the usual lead vocal, I'll keep everything down the center. But you're exactly right. You can totally do this technique and you can pan the vocals where you can have a lead vocal that's like one vocal in the left ear and one vocal in the right ear. And that makes this effect like even more exaggerated because your brain can tell the difference between when something is stereo panned and you can kind of pick out the performances a little better. And then it's like, oh my God, there's two of this guy. You know what I mean? It really makes the part feel, it makes it feel less realistic, but sometimes that's good for what you're going for. So I've definitely done that before where I'll stack a lead vocal hard panned as the lead. You know, that's usually only reserved for background vocals, but I'll throw a lead stereo if it fits the part for sure. Flanger and chorus are my favorite duo for sure. One of the coolest effects, man. It's great. Thank you, Holy Sins. I appreciate it. Speaking of, let's move on here, and hopefully we'll get some more stuff too to hear. All right, let's talk about. So I have this melody come in an octave up when the drums come in, and I don't know which one I want to be the lead vocal yet. I don't know if I want it to be like, you know, how would I sing this song live? Would I switch up to the other one, or would I stay in this? You know, what do I want the lead performance to be? Well, we will just have to listen and find out. So let's go find us some octave up here. Let's see where I'm at. Do I have any effects on the current tracks? Oh, good point. Before we run into more takes here, I will show you the vocal chain that we're working on. Sorry, I made the tracks tiny. So on our lead vocals here, I have a bunch of sends that I preset up in my vocal template. And so these are auxiliary tracks that I can send my lead vocal to. So I've got a distortion track, I've got two different delays, I've got a slapback delay, I've got a reverb, and then I've got some really exaggerated delays where it's like a super long echo that would be like for an effect. Like if you really want the part to be like an obvious delay. These delays up top are just kind of like background vibe. These are like, oh, I want you to hear that the part's being delayed. So that's a good point. I'll actually go and I'll mute all of these and we can just listen to these vocals with no effects.
Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. I've been thinking, lost without you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am.
So they're doubled, right? So if we're just listening to one.
Was speaking lies about you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. Break the ceiling, wall surrounds you.
So there's pitch issues for sure, but that way you can just hear the clean vocal as it starts, right? But the effects definitely add a lot, especially in a song like this. So I just end up keeping them on by default because I'm used to them when I'm tracking with them. But that's a good point. It's always good to go back and evaluate, like, don't just throw delay on something just cause, you know, you want to do it stylistically. But that's something that I would do later on in the mix phase. Right now I'm just using them for ambience to like help me hear the takes in a closer to final version. So I'm mostly thinking about finding the performances and getting all that right. And then the mix side of things where I would really obsess about effects or plug-in settings. That's something we'll do later. But good question for sure. So thank you. All right, let's go. Let's find our chorus down here. Where's he at? Let's try this guy. Not soloed. Okay, back to the song.
Well, you know who I am. I've been thinking, lost without you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. They were speaking lies about you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. Break the ceiling, walls surround you.
Okay, so that would be an example of where I took the same exact melody, the same exact notes, and just shifted everything up an octave. So because those two vocals are singing the exact same thing, you get this nice supportive, you know, symbiotic relationship between the two, and they're the exact same notes, just following each other up and down like this. So I think that is a cool introduction for that, because everything gets nice and quiet when the drums go away. And then when it comes back in, we get a little bit of excitement, but it's not, you know, it's not taken away from our original melody a little bit. So let's listen to these other two and just see what we think of them.
Lost without you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. They were speaking lies about you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. Break the ceiling, walls surround you.
Okay, so there was the middle section of that I really liked. I thought this line here in the center was really good. Let's just check the top one real quick.
Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. They were speaking lies
Not that one.
about you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. Break the ceiling, walls surround you.
Okay, not to throw off what we're doing, but I just realized Nicole Back 1994. I just realized your name is a play on Nickelback, and I was just trying not to laugh. That's absolutely brilliant. I think that's the best username I've ever seen. So yeah, props to you. That's incredible. All right, let's listen to just this last one, and then we'll piece these ones together.
Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. Break the ceiling, walls surround you.
All right, so just first impressions off of these. I think what I would do is we'll take the beginning of this, the middle of this, and maybe the end of this, and then we'll take these two right here, and we'll say these ones are going to be our faves, and we'll just try to go with that. So there's a couple ways we could do this. I'm not exactly sure where these belong, but we'll find out. We could bring them up, and we could just stack them on top, dead center, right in the middle, just like our main vocals are, and just have everything on top of, you know, each other right down the middle. But maybe we'll pan some stuff. We'll see. And yeah, it does have a very much like a Time Kills Everything kind of vibe. It's very much in that sort of floaty, you know, hopefully there's a little bit of moodiness and tension to it, but you know, hopefully it also feels good and you kind of enjoy the flow. That's what I'm hoping to capture. So I'm glad you think so.
Lost without you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. They were speaking lies about you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. Break the ceiling, walls surround you.
Okay, so I actually think that the other take will be better, this one. So I'm going to swap that into our lead, because this top track here is our lead vocal and this second track is our double. So I just swap those takes around. Let's see if these ones are better. And just to see the difference, this lead track at the top actually doesn't have any delay on currently. So I'm going to turn our delay on and see if that makes him feel better. Yeah. See, to me, that already feels better. To me, I think that this song does need the effects on the vocal because our guitars have lots of effects. You know, it's a very spacey, vibey sort of part. So if you have a dry vocal, it can feel you have a lot of contrast with your track. Now, maybe that's what you want. Maybe that's a good thing. But for me, I think the delay really helps anchor it in the song better. So I'll just play you literally just the first line. You can hear the difference, right? So this will be, we'll turn off the delay and you can just hear it on the high vocal. We'll turn off the delay. Right? It's like on top of the track. It's not in the track, right? But if we just throw that same delay on, it's the same delay we're using on the low vocal too, so it helps blend everything together. And I think that this makes the vocal feel like it belongs in the song more. So right, it's the same performances, you know, there's still some pitch things, whatever, that's fine. But to me, that little bit of delay helps make the vocal feel like it belongs in the song right there. So, all right, cool. Let's say we're happy with these comps of the chorus. Let's move to our verse section and give us a little bit of context as to what comes before this chorus and make sure we're liking the flow and the change between the parts. All right, let's try. Where were we at here? Oh no, that is the chorus. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, okay, here's our verse. So the verse is the same story. You can see lots of different takes in here. I'm trying different lyric ideas, different iterations. I have a vision for how I want the melody to be. I want it to be like very, not monotone, but like kind of robotic, kind of like hypnotizing. That's how I'm trying to think of it. But definitely playing with lyrics and playing with the performance a little bit. So let's start listening to some of these verse takes and see if we like any of them. Let's go. I don't even know where to start. Let's go green. We like the last green one. Let's see. So I think the transition is good, and I think the part will be good, but there's definitely some performance stuff I don't like about that one. I'm trying to get it like very staccato, but like kind of like a chant, right? Like a hypnosis kind of a thing, like very, very dry delivery. And I know I was playing with the lyrics a bit. So let's see if it gets better on the later takes. Let's go with the blue one. Patience, anxious, God is integrated. Watch the pages fly, leave the needle dry. Patience, anxious, God is integrated. Breathe a word of life to my cry. Patience, 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 patience. Neither you or I define. Nice. So that felt like a better take. It felt like I was, more on top of the delivery, and the lyrics were a little bit better. There's a couple things I want to change a bit, but we're getting in the right direction. Yeah, you get the. Hopefully, it's getting the vibe across. It's kind of like a mid-album track. Yeah, that's how I'm thinking of it. It's like one of those palate cleansers a little bit. You know what I mean? Like not an interlude, because it's a little bit, has a little bit more meat to it than that, but definitely just something to like put on and kind of, it's like a late night drive song is how I think of these types of things, where you're just going down the highway, cruising, just chilling. That's kind of what we're going for here. Do I prefer pitch correction or auto tune to fix pitch issues? So I personally don't like using Melodyne or any type of like pitch correction that you do by hand, or like where you go and you change note by note. Just for me personally, I'll overthink it, and I feel like that tool in my hands, I can do more harm than good. It's like, I think of it like when you're cleaning your house and you're like, oh, I'm gonna clean this one room, and you clean a little bit, and then you see the thing next to it looks dirty, so you clean that, and then the thing next to it that looks dirty, and then you end up cleaning your whole freaking house, right? Or at least that's what I end up doing. And so I feel like that I have that tendency with the pitch editing on the vocals, is like, oh, let me just fix this one note, but then the note next to it sounds off, so let me move that one, and then let me move and then I just end up Frankenstein in the whole performance. And it always makes it so that I don't enjoy listening to my own vocal, because I'm listening to it and I'm just thinking, oh, did I move that pitch too much? Did I mess with it too much? So what I'll do is I just use the generic auto-tune plugin, and I'll just like set the settings as low as I can get away with, where I still think it sounds good. So it's like, I'll just let the algorithm do it. I'll feed it the best takes that I can, and it'll kind of like, it'll hit everything the same. And then I don't have to think about, oh, did I mess up the performance too much? So it's a great question. So I definitely tune it all. I definitely tune vocals. I have done a couple songs where I didn't have to tune things, but 95% of the time I'll just throw the auto-tune plugin on it with a very conservative setting. So like here, I'll just show you. And I'm just using, right now, I'm using a free one. This is a free plugin. So the actual, if you wanted to get like the one from Antares, the actual auto-tune plugin, is better than this for sure. But this one's free, and it's been fine. So I haven't messed with it. But literally, you go in here, you set the key of the song. You can change the notes individually if you want to do some type of, weird key or something that's not standard in the program. You literally just set the key of the song, and then you've got a whole bunch of different controls up here, but the only ones that I worry about are depth and speed. And so you can see right now they're at 20%. This has been bypassed this whole time because I actually don't know what key we're in right now. But I literally will just set stuff as low as I possibly can, to where it's helping me, it's making sure I'm in key, but it's not like distracting, or it doesn't sound too over processed. But yeah, so this one is by, I forget the name of this company, but if you just search M Auto Pitch, they have like a whole plugin bundle, and it's all free stuff. So this is a great free, vocal tune if you're like me and you don't want to tune vocals by hand. Oh, you guys can't see it. Oh, fuck. Well, that's lame. Hold on. Oh, I didn't even know this. All right, hold on. Let me switch to screen. Hey. All right, so apparently if I'm in window capture on OBS, you can't see pop-up windows, so you can't see the plugin. I did not know that. Well, I was ranting about something that you couldn't see, but now you can see it. So this is what the plugin looks like. You can change the key, right? Here's our little piano roll down here. You change the key, and then you've got depth and speed. So I've got them set to 20%, and I like to do that to just be as minimal as possible. But this is what it looks like. Sorry, I was ranting and you couldn't see. Holy Sins, if you're taking off, good to see you, my friend. Thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. But yeah, so this is the free plugin that's good for tuning if you're like me and you don't want to tune vocals by hand. But this isn't even turned on right now because I'm not even sure what key we're in, so we're not going to worry about tuning vocals today. So all right, let's go back to Pro Tools here, see if this behaves for us. All right, so I'm going to try to speed things up just a little bit so we can get to hear more of the song. Let's just find a good verse section and we can start building a comp here.
Patience, anxious, God is integrated. Read the pages by, push the needle dry. Anxious, famous, God is integrated. Read the word alive through my mind. Patience, 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 patience. Neither you or I defined by. Do you know my name?
Okay, that take had some good stuff. Let's go one under it.
Patience, anxious, God is integrated. Turn the pages by, push the needle dry. Aimless, painless, godless, integrated. Speak the word of life through my eyes. Patience, patience, patience. Neither you or I defined by. Do you know my
So that was interesting. That's a good example where I felt like the take didn't start out good. The pitch was off when I first came in, but then as the take went on, I feel like there was some really good stuff in the middle there. So that's a good example of like if you're recording by yourself and you're doing a large section like this. Sometimes you'll be recording and you'll know that you didn't quite start out perfect and you'll kind of want to give up and start over because you just naturally you want to get it right from the top. But sometimes you'll get some good stuff on the second half. So this is just why it's important to take the time and listen to everything that you recorded. And if you're able to get the part done quicker and you don't have as many takes like I have here, it makes the comping process easier. But this is the songwriting process that I enjoy, of trying things on the fly and experimenting in the recording session in the moment of it, and then I don't mind going back and doing more work afterwards. So let's listen to just a couple more of these and then we'll build a comp.
patience, anxious, God is integrated. Turn the pages by, push the needle dry. Famous, aimless, godless, and degraded. Speak the word of life through my eyes.
Okay, I didn't really like that one. Let's go to the green.
Patience, anxious, God is integrated. Turn the pages by, push the needle dry. Patience, aimless, godless, and degraded. Neither you or I defined by. Patience, 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 patience. Put the word of life through my kind. Do you know my
Cool. I thought green felt good. I agree with you, Nicole. Green had some good stuff in it. Let's do the other green one.
patience, anxious, God is integrated. Turn the pages by, push the needle dry. Aimless, godless, and degraded. Neither you or I defined by. Patience, 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 patience. Spread the word of life through my kind. Do you know?
Cool. All right. I just want to listen to these bottom two. I'm sorry if you heard this part a million times. This is just the life of an audio engineer, is you got to listen to crap over and over and over. So just whenever you're hearing a song that somebody released, just know that a couple of people had to listen to this song hundreds of times during the editing process, the mixing process, the mastering process. all this type of stuff. You know, hopefully you enjoy listening to it, and you know, you feel like you're making positive progress and getting the things that you want. But so I appreciate you guys, you know, if you're able to tolerate listen to the same thing over and over. It's pronounced nickel like the coin. Just had to put out there. Well, yeah, Nickelback. That's the band, but your name's Nicole. Or is your name actually pronounced Nickel? If so, that's incredible. Okay, I'm going to play one more verse here. That's amazing. Okay, I like some of the blue. So you can still hear I'm changing the lyrics, but I do know I like these couple sections here from these. And I thought our green guy had some good stuff. So let's try just doing these two. Maybe let's take him and him. All right, let's see how these ones sound as a verse. Let's bring them up here. Let's put these in our top track. Let's see how they sound together. Patience, patience, God is integrated. Take the pages by, push the needle dry. Patience, patience, God is integrated. See the sacrifice through my eyes. All right, so there's problems with this is that I'm saying two different lyrics. So you'll see if you're going to double something, it has to be, obviously you have to be saying the same words, or you know, you should be, and it's got to be reasonably similar performances. They have to blend well together, and they have to be friends, right? They have to be best friends. So yeah, you'll hear there's definitely some lyrics in here that we're going to have to move around. Do I ever use Ableton or just Pro Tools? I draw drum tracks in Ableton, but I'm moving into Pro Tools soon. So I personally have never really used Ableton. For whatever reason, the interface seemed complicated to me. I know people say that Pro Tools seems pretty complicated, which granted, I think that they all kind of seem weird until you get the layout, because they all have the same buttons, all right? They all do the same things. They just look a little bit different. So I kind of think that, you know, preferences in recording program is kind of like what color scheme do you like the most is really, I would say, like whatever you like looking at and you feel like you're able to be fast in, that's the only thing that matters. So if you want to switch to Pro Tools, you know, you totally can. But if you're good in Ableton, you know, that one's totally good too. Holy Sins, catch you later, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Thank you very much for checking in. It's nice to see you, man. I'll give anything for listening to this song. Well, you don't have to, because we're gonna keep playing it until we get the vocal that we like. So you're gonna hear some more of it right now. Let's try. Let's try this track real quick. I'm curious to see what this one had. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna mute our lead vocal that we have up here, just so we can listen to our takes down here. All right, so that's the part I'm looking for right now, is the turn the pages by, push the needle dry, because I know one of these lyrics are wrong up here. So let's see which one we need to replace. Turn the pages by, push the needle dry. This one, this blue one. The pages by, push the needle dry. So those takes just aren't as good. Let's see. I'm curious what's in this blue one, actually. Turn the pages by, push the needle dry. Yeah, let's bring this guy up here. So now these two should double nicely, or at least we hope that they will.
Turn the pages by, push the needle dry, painless, aimless, godless and degraded, neither you or I, defined by.
Cool. So now these are sitting a little bit better together. So that's a good example of, like, you know, in general, it's probably smarter to have the lyrics written before you start singing the song. But the way I've been doing things lately has been trying to, you know, make it a creative and a discovery sort of process. For me personally, the most fun that I have and when I feel like I get the best results is when I am not thinking at all, right? Like just feeling it. And that's really hard to do when you just sit down with a piece of paper and it's like, okay, write a great song. It's like, well, that's a lot of pressure. Like, it's hard to turn your brain off, at least for me. So when I at least have the music going and, you know, I get my heart rate up a little bit and I'm in the recording process, I feel like those are when I get like the best ideas, where they just come to you and you don't have to think about it. Excuse me. So that's how I've been doing the recording process lately. One of the side effects of this is you have a bunch of tracks that you have to kind of sort through, and it's a little bit of a mess. But that's okay, because hopefully we get good results out of it, and it's given us something to use as a little bit of a tutorial here. So I think it works out. Ableton, you can handle everything, even in FL Studio. I think whichever you learn the best, definitely by. Oh yeah, defined by. That was a good take, I hope. Yeah, FL Studio, people, I know that one has been around forever. It's Fruity Loops, right? It's for like producing beats and drum machine loops. That's what I remember it for. I think these days it's turned into like a full-fledged audio editing program. But I remember back in the day, it was like the king for making beats and stuff, because I think it came with drum samples and it came with keyboard samples, so you could just get this one program and start making beats and stuff. I definitely remember doing that back in high school. What interface do I use and what is my vocal preamp? Okay, so right now all of this was recorded on the basic Scarlett USB interface, the red one, like the affordable go-to staple. And I had some other interfaces before this. I had like a 16 channel preamp and converters and stuff when I was recording our whole band for My Ticket Home. I had all these inputs and everything. And when I got my new PC, I got it for video editing. I switched from Mac to PC. And the interface that I was using was an Apogee, and it was only compatible with Mac. You could not use it for PC. And I didn't research this at all before I switched to PC. So all of a sudden, I can't record. I don't have an interface. So I'm literally borrowing this Focusrite from Nick DePiro, because he has a couple other ones. And I've been using this for like 4 or 5 months now. And it's totally fine. It's totally fine. So yeah, I definitely see myself upgrading, getting something nicer at some point. But just solid. It's all sounding good so far. So yeah, if you guys are, anybody who can start out, you can get great results with the affordable stuff these days. All of it sounds great. So yeah, the Focusrite is definitely a go-to. All right, let's get the end here. What do we need? Let's see. Okay, so I know I was changing the lyrics at the end here, so I'm going to take the little patience bits from the green ones, and I intentionally kind of like had those trail off, like I'm kind of like just mumbling it to myself. I'm not really singing it to the mic, because I want to have some background vocals come in right there with like some whispers and like some sort of like trippy 3D effect. And I want it to seem very much like that, of like this hypnotic chant, and this person is just kind of like wandering around, and they kind of like walk away from the mic and you just hear them like mumbling this word to themselves. So I kind of intentionally did that, where you can even see in the waveforms, they just get real quiet right here. And that's on purpose. So just if you were curious as to why it sounds like I walked away from the microphone, that was on purpose. So let's grab these guys. And I think these endings will be cool here. As long as I don't put them off time. Okay. And let's turn off this track. Let's see.
Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. I've been thinking, lost without you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. They were speaking lies about you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. Make the ceiling walls surround you.
Okay, so just something I'm noticing, like mix-wise, is the higher pitch vocal feels a little bit abrasive when it's, you know, the whole song has been in this lower register. So something we can try as like a mix setting is we can take these and put them in the background slot where they'll be a little bit lower volume, and we're going to pan them left and right and see if they sound better as more of like a supportive vocal to this lead, where we can just kind of tuck them in a little bit rather than them kind of taking over the part too much. So let's see how this sounds.
Lost without you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. They were speaking lies about you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. Make the ceiling walls surround you.
So I think that's probably the move, right? To me, that feels more complete, and it actually feels bigger because now we've got our vocals are taking up more of the stereo space. They're not just on top of each other in the center, and they're just tucked back a little bit. Yeah, it sounds more spacey, right? It feels more, you know, just kind of open. So even if we want to solo the vocals, you can hear because now we're taking up more stereo space. It helps them blend with our lead vocal, I think. So let's just go here.
Lost without you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. They were speaking lies about you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. Make the ceiling wall surround you.
Sweet. So just for the sake of time, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy over our verse, where in reality I've got other performances there where I would switch up the lyrics and, you know, do a little bit something I think more interesting for the second verse. But I don't want to take everyone's time too long, and I'd like to get more of the song going here. So let's grab these. We'll just duplicate them to our second verse. Maybe here. It's on the solo. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm just copying and pasting stuff. I'm just flying it around the song. Normally I wouldn't do this. I would like go and take things from where I actually performed them. But just for the sake of speed of, you know, because I've got people watching, of trying to get the song finished quicker, you can totally do stuff like this where you take stuff and move it around. But obviously how you performed it is the most important thing. This is just making it so we can get some finished pieces in there quicker, and then we can hear the song as a whole and see if we like what we're doing or if we want to change stuff. So let's go to one of these other tracks here. So something I do remember doing was changing the lyrics up in the second half of this guy, where instead of saying, "Do you know my name?" that part over and over, I had another lyric that I thought was pretty cool, where, let's see what we think of this. So this one right here is different. So that one, I think that's more enjoyable rather than saying the same words over and over. So let's see if I can fly these in and replace some of what we have. So I like that one. Oops. That one's okay. All right, so that one's good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these. These are gonna be our high pitched or our octave up vocals, and we're swapping out some lyrics. So perfect example of where we can use our playlists, right? So we've got our 2 tracks here where our upper vocal was, and we want to swap out some lyrics. So we're gonna go with the long shortcut with the Shift Control Option Command \, and now we have a new playlist. So if we want to swap these in here, boom, now they're in, and now this is the lyric of the song. And they kind of run into each other. The edit's not perfect, but that's okay for now. And actually, something that I was hearing just now, just as we were kind of shooting out some tracks, is you could, we could even have like a call and response type thing where we go high, low, high, low. So check this out, right? We could go, oh my goodness. So what I'm just doing here is I'm deactivating certain clips without deleting them. So if you highlight something in Pro Tools and you do, it's Command M on Mac or Control M on Windows, it'll turn gray, and it's just muting it. It's still there, but we're not hearing it. So we could even do like a little call and response thing right here. Right, where you go high, low, and that's kind of cool too. So let's see if we like any of these better. I think it was these two. Let's bring these guys up into our new playlist. Okay. Mute these, and then I have some low vocals to match these. These ones here, I think. Let's try this one too. Could you numb the pain
could understand.
Okay, so these two are solid. So I'm just bringing these up just so we have the options if we want the lower vocal to be exactly matching our high vocal, just so we have the same lyrics up here, but we don't have to use them if we don't want to. So actually what I'm going to do is make ourselves a new playlist here. Oops, sorry about that. Make sure I'm duplicating, cruising, and then I'll bring these guys in. And I know these edits aren't perfect. Normally, I would make a new track or crossfade some stuff, but we're going quick and dirty at the moment, and that is okay. So if we wanted our low vocal to go through the whole time, it would sound like this.
Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. I've been thinking, lost without you. Could you know the pain? If you could understand, they must be your lies about you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. There's a ceiling wall surrounds you. Could you numb the pain if you could understand?
So you can see we have a little call and response thing going on with high, low, and it makes it feel, rather than the chorus is just being this one giant run-on sentence, you know, you have a little bit of interest and contrast between the two parts. So hopefully that keeps it a little bit more stimulating. And then let's just look for, I have just a line here, something to end the song with on the low note.
Understand. The world is sinking down around you. Understand. The world is sinking down around you.
Cool, that one's good enough. So normally, as you can see, I sang this like, 8 different times. But the process would be the same. I would shoot it out. I would listen to that, all those different takes, and find the best one for my ending. But for now, we'll just pick one that we think feels good enough, because I would like to play the whole song and get you guys back to the rest of your evening. So let's see how this one sounds.
The world is understand. The world is sinking down around you.
All right, so we have enough now that we can listen to the song top to bottom and see what we think of it. Now, obviously, I did this super quick, you know what I mean? Like, I copied and pasted a bunch of stuff. We didn't listen to every single track. I'm trying to be mindful of people's time and keep things interesting. But this is basically the process. You go through, you listen to all the things that you recorded, and you try to get as close to the vision you had in your head, and find the best performances that you can to make that, come to life. So there's more, there's more work to be done in this song for sure. I'm hearing all sorts of pitch things and little details that I would want to like zero in on. But it's not that fun to watch. Sometimes it's not fun to even do. But so we have enough now where we can listen to our whole song and we can see what it needs, right? We can just see, is our general idea of the song coming to life the way we want it to. So let's see. A third higher vocal would be sick. Yeah, see, that's a really cool idea. You could do, because this song is just 2 parts that repeat, adding in a third harmony or, ad libs or extra tweaks of the melody would really make it feel like, give it more purpose to the parts that repeat. In music, if you repeat something too much, it's all a creative process, right? Sometimes repeating something over and over, sometimes that is what's cool. Sometimes that's what's best for the part. And sometimes you need to add something new and give people, you've already established, oh, this is the melody. But then when you deviate from that, it can be really satisfying and make it interesting to listen to. So, we'll see what this song needs. Right now, this is just our first base coat, Do I sing different recordings as low, mid, high, and then layer them? Yeah, that's exactly what I did. So I did a first take of this song, in the lower register where I sang everything in the lower melody, but I knew in my head I could hear that chorus would work in the upper register as well. So I just took the same melody and just shifted it an octave up. And I had a thought in my head of both of them happening at the same time. I wasn't sure which one should be the lead or which one should be the background. And I'm still not sure. It'll take more time of listening to it and seeing what type of creative mix decisions we can do to get the blend that we're looking for. Do I prefer the song to sound like you planned or being surprised by a different yet awesome sound? I don't prefer either because both of them are great, right? Both of those outcomes are what you hope for, right? If you do something and it comes out just like you wanted, you're stoked. If you do something and it doesn't work, but you find a better idea, you're also stoked. So you're definitely onto it though. Like there have been so many things that happen by accident that you just stick with it. Like a perfect example, like in this song, right? There is, I want to put some like whispery stuff in the verse as like a little stylistic layer. And I got this idea because when I was about to record this verse, I was mumbling lyrics to myself, trying to think what I would say. And then when I listened back, I could hear those little whispers going on. And I was like, oh, that feels pretty cool. So like, check this out, right? And this is the beginning of this track. I think it was this one. Like, I think you can hear me like itching my face and stuff too, but just those little whispers, right? Like, ignore the facial hair part, but like just hearing the little whispers was like, oh, that'd be cool if there was like, you're like hearing whispers and you can't quite tell what the person is saying, and just setting the mood for the song. So there's actually a track that I did somewhere that has a bunch of whispers in it that we can find, and I could slap that in real fast. But yeah, exactly something like that where it's just a total accident, but you're like, oh, what was that? So yeah, you're exactly right. A lot of times you come up with the best ideas just by chance. All right, cool. Let's just listen to this thing. Let's listen top to bottom and see. I'm sure there'll be some sloppy edits and stuff, but let's just see how the vibe is feeling so far. We'll go from the top. I'm gonna mute this track. Hang on. Okay. Bring the high back. Let's keep it in. okay, decent, right? Like, sure, there's all sorts of, you know, edges that we need to smooth out, but the vibe feels right? If, or at least I hope so, right? The vibe feels like the vocal is meshing well with the track. It's living in the same space. It's making you feel a certain way. So that's what we're going for. Hopefully that's what we got. So yeah, that would be a pretty like quick down and dirty example of how I'll go through and comp vocals once I've recorded them. But we did a lot of copy and pasting stuff to get the second half, you know, done quicker. But I would go through, like, this is an example where you maybe don't have to change the melodies of certain things, but just changing the lyrics, like changing the lyrics in the second verse, you know, adding little fluctuations, changing how you said something, extending a note, adding a note, this type of thing. Those are where you can kind of add those little interesting moments in the parts that are repeating. And like the vocal being missing here in the second section, you know, is something I'll play with as well. But yeah, that's where this session is sitting so far. This is kind of where you get from just your first initial vocal pass. And now this is really good. Now we have a frame of reference for, we can sit down and go, okay, what does this need? Are we happy with the lyrics? Are we happy with the chorus? Are we happy with the structure? And yeah, I pretty much will just keep listening, keep refining, and as new ideas come up, we'll try those. So unless anybody has any particular questions, I think we're coming up on just about 2 hours. So I'll probably end it here in just a bit, but if you guys have more questions, you know, I really appreciate you being here and watching this long. So I don't want to leave you hanging if you're curious about something that I didn't show. But that's pretty much how I would edit the song. So yeah. Oh, do I have a line indicator that shows you where you are on the song? Yeah, so for some reason, Pro Tools is like not showing certain things in OBS. So if I go to, let me just go to my screen here. If I go to this one, I think now you can see what I see. Like if I make a highlighted section, can you see that? Yeah. So for some reason, OBS won't show like you see the playhead. Yeah, so there is a playhead that's like showing what's happening. For some reason it's missing in the window capture from Pro Tools. I'll have to figure that out. This is the first stream, so I'm learning all this stuff on the fly. But yeah, that's probably annoying if you're just, you know, sitting there staring and you're like, where are we in the song? So I'll have to figure that out in the future streams, because definitely not fun if you don't know where we are. Nicole, thank you so much. Oh wait, let's do this. Check this out. If we go here. Oh no, where did they go? I was gonna highlight her comment, but now it's gone. Hello? Okay. Sorry about that. Again, like I said, first stream, so I must have misclicked something in OBS. My bad. But Nicole or Nickel, I'm so sorry. I wrote down your song names, so definitely we'll check those out. Thank you for putting those in. And let me see. Is it Utkuzjin? UTKUs. Utkuzjin. It's almost morning where I live. It's definitely worth watching. Thank you very much. I was just saying that, you know, whether you're at the end of a long day or starting your day very early, I hope that you're doing well. Thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. So thank you. And yeah, we got audio back. Can I say hi and give a shout out to Jolene? Absolutely. Hello, Jolene. Shout out to you wherever you are, whoever you are. I hope that you're doing very well. Lightgeist, I'm not sure if that's you or a friend, but massive shout out to Jolene, and thank you to Lightgeist, who has been asking great questions and commenting and being here. So thank you very much. Tom, thank you. OG Twitch viewer, that was great. Really enjoyed it. I should be asleep. Hey man, I've definitely been there. I have definitely been there. So yeah, hopefully it was worthwhile. And yeah, I really appreciate everyone watching, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the track and enjoyed seeing the sort of rough process. Definitely plan to do more of these in the future. I would really like to get to doing live recording sessions, you know, live streaming the recording process, or doing some live performances, stuff like that. I got to work up my confidence a little bit and figure out the OBS, the streaming tools a little bit, so I don't have any technical difficulties. But I think something like that would be really cool. So, oh yeah, follow the channel, of course, if you want to follow this Twitch channel so you can see any of the future stuff. I'm going to try to stream once a week. I think I'll probably keep doing them on Wednesdays if it's a good time for everybody. But I'll post about it on my social media before we do another episode like this. And I also have a YouTube channel where I've been making some longer form YouTube videos, little tutorials and tips and tricks and stuff like this, and doing some vlogs of some of the recording sessions that we've been doing. So if you'd like to check that out, it's just my name, Nick Jumenti on YouTube. I'm working on a new episode right now. And yeah, thank you guys so much. And this was really, really fun and definitely a learning process for me, but hopefully it was helpful. And I didn't make you listen to the same thing over and over too much. But yeah, man, I'm gonna take a break from this one. I'm gonna have some dinner, but then I'll come back to it and keep polishing it. And you'll probably see some clips of it on Instagram at some point. But you were here, so you saw it and heard it first. So thank you again very much, everyone. We're about 2 hours in, so I'm gonna say goodbye. But I really appreciate you being here. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. So take care.
Lost without you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. They were speaking lies about you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. Think the ceiling wall surrounds you. Patience, anxious, God is integrated. Turn the pages by, push the needle dry. Angels, God is centigrade. Neither you or I, defined by patience, set the soul on fire. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. I've been thinking, lost without you. Could you know the pain if you could understand? They were speaking lies about you. Do you know my name? Well, you know who I am. Think the ceiling wall surrounds you. Could you know the pain if you could understand?